It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream Q&A video. This is going to be Q&A number 113 for Season 9, Episode 7 of The Walking Dead. This one called Stradivarius. So it's going to be a big episode, I feel. And of course, with that big tease at the end of last episode about the Whisperers, it gets me very excited, very hyped. And I'm definitely very interested to see how they adapt the storyline from the comics when it comes to the Whispers and their introduction. I already did a standalone video on my predictions about what might end up happening with the introduction of the Whispers. And, you know, for comic readers, that's kind of the big thing we're not waiting for necessarily, but we're excited to see come to life. But as far as this Q&A goes, this is just basically for the next episode, and you know, I want to hear your questions, your comments, your predictions, your opinions, anything about that, anything in that regard, I mean. And also, of course, no spoilers. This is a no spoiler community, so please do not put any spoilers in the comments and ruin it for people, because we don't want to know about what comes up, because we want to see it. So with that said and out of the way, let's jump right into the questions. I'm just going to move my camera a little bit so I can see the questions here. Giuseppe De Rosa, yo Ash, how are you? Glad you could join. Giuseppe De Rosa, I've been very busy, but now I can chill. No worries, glad you could join. Mammals Mayo Sandwich, does Christian Serratos live in Georgia? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm assuming most of the core characters have to be, the actors playing the core characters have to be living in Georgia now to kind of be close when they're filming. They might go away during the off season, but I think that's where their primary house is during the on season. Giuseppe De Rosa, I think we'll see the Whisperers in full form today. I don't think so. I think they'll tease them, but I don't think we'll see Alpha or Lydia or Beta in this next 2 episodes, I think. And even that big kind of holy crap moment from the comics, I don't want to reveal it. For those of you that don't know, it's about the lineup. That I don't think is coming until next half. They are showing some Whispers for sure, but I don't think we're diving deep into the actual Whispers until in the second half, in terms of revealing them and telling us who they are, for non-comic readers, of course. Giuseppe De Rosa, I honestly like Beta more than Alpha. Yeah, Beta has been, or had been, utilized way more. And he was more of an interesting character than Alpha in the comics. I hope they change that a little bit in the show. And I hope they give both of them the same amount of story and not kill one or the other sooner than, expected, just for the shock value. Although, I definitely like what they did with Alpha in the comics. How they had the story go in terms of, I don't want to reveal it, but it's connected to someone we don't expect, Alpha, who's one of the main leaders from the Whisperers, has an interesting moment, let's say, with Negan. Let's just say that. And I think that was perfect, and it was shocking and unpredictable. But, like I said, I don't want it to happen quite yet in the show. I hope they have more story for Alpha before that moment. Giuseppe De Rosa, if there's Alpha and then Beta, who's the C? I don't think there's any C. There's the upper guy or the upper girl. So there's basically the leader, and there's the right-hand man or right-hand woman. It works in every kind of community, in anything, not just Walking Dead. So there isn't any C. It's just who's the leader, who's the Alpha, and who's the right-hand person. Mammals Mayo Sandwich, do you think Negan will call Beta Jolly Green? Did he say that to him in the comics? I don't remember. He might. I mean, that'll be interesting. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think Negan could escape? I think so. I think that's part of the story that they can't really remix until they just don't want to do that part of the story. You know what I mean? So I think he has to, for the story to go more or less the same way as it does in the comics. I do want to show you guys this. I don't know if any of you have seen it or not, but I do want to show you guys this. And, you know, it's pretty interesting. I'll show you guys. And let me see if I can even share it with you guys right now. Just give me a couple of minutes here. Yeah, there we go. I can. Okay, so let me just find a good place for this. Oops, moved something else. This is gonna suck. Okay, there we go. So this, and I'll just block myself here so you guys can see this, is a poster that I actually made for the Whispers. And for comic creators, I do have a bit of Easter eggs for you guys, but I had fun making this and it turned out pretty well. So I used the poster that they already created, but I added my own touch to it and I put the tagline "Whispers into Screams" from the comics. So yeah, I don't want you to tell me the Easter eggs because there's gonna be non-comic readers here, but that's a poster I hope they would do for the Whispers. Of course, they could do another one still, but I hope they do something like this where they incorporate some of the kind of Easter eggs that I have in there. But yeah, so I'll just take that away. Where is it? There we go. And let me bring myself back here. There we go. So yeah, that was a cool kind of poster that I made. It's on the Twitter page as well as on YouTube in the community section of the channel. So if you want to take a look at it larger and, just pay attention to everything. But it was a pretty cool poster, I think. Of course, I'm just, I made it, so I can't really say that it's cool. It has to come from others. Let me know what you guys think about the poster. But I really like, how it turned out. Let's see. Just Happy Daros, I do think the Whispers will be better than the Saviors. I hope so. The Saviors were a bit of a disappointment, I think. But I hope that the Whispers in the show are done well. And, that their story arc is more fleshed out. In the comics, they started off great, but it just died down. Their stories kind of died down and their arcs kind of became less interesting than what they used to be at the beginning of their, introduction. So I hope they change that a little bit. Mammals Main Sandwich, would you be disappointed if Daryl took Negan's comic story arc with Alpha? Very disappointed. I will be shocked if they do that, and I'll be very disappointed. Definitely. I hope they don't do that. Now that you bring it up, it does seem like something they would do, and I just hope they don't. Giuseppe Dorosa, the Whisperers versus the Saviors. Who would win in a war? The Saviors right now? Whispers, because there's no Saviors. Not a lot of them. But back when the Saviors were actually Saviors, I would say that's a tough one because they both had numbers on them. And they had something, The Saviors had a lot of weapons. Whispers have a strategy. They can blend in with the herd. So, and maybe I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I think Whispers. Just because of the strategy that they have. I don't want to dive in it because there could be non-comic readers and, I could have kind of spoiled it for them a little bit. I'm sorry about that, but yeah. Voltex 20 or Voltex 33, sorry. Hi Ash, hi, glad you could join. Giuseppe De Rosa, cool poster, Ash. Thank you, I appreciate it. I think it looks cool, but maybe others have different thoughts. Jeff Noland. Is that how you say your name? Yeah, Jeff Noland. I think they should remix the Whisperers to be cannibals. No, I don't think so. I mean, they already did cannibals already. So it's repetitive. And the Whispers are iconic. You don't want to mess with their story arcs like that. Mammals Mayo Sandwich. Do you think Eugene and Rosita will be a couple later this season? Very likely, yes. That's very likely where they're going with it. That is, though, if they survive. Wink, wink, comic readers. We have 7 people watching. Went down to 6. But yeah, I'm very excited for this episode tonight. I mean, I'm not expecting too much from the Whispers. Maybe a tease or two, but nothing too much. I don't think that, you know, they're gonna reveal who they are and what they are. You know what I mean? In this next episode, at least. But very excited to see how everything blends in together, because I feel like they have multiple story arcs or plot points in the next episode, or yeah, in this next episode that are interesting by themselves, but at the same time, when you blend it together, when you mix it together, it becomes very, very interesting. And of course, they're related somehow. They're connected, all of them, and they lead to the Whispers or the new villains. So I'm very excited to see how they kind of make that work and how they bring everything together in terms of the different plot points that we have for the next episode. In a way, if it was the old showrunner, Scott Gimple, and I could be completely, you know, wrong or off about this, but if it was the old showrunner, I feel like what they would have done is split this into 3 episodes. Maybe one episode would focus on 2 of these plot points, the other on the others, and the other on the other 2, and at the end, they will bring it together in like 4 episodes. I feel like if it was Scott Gimple, that's what he would have done. I could be wrong, but I think that's where he would have, or where he would have been headed with the story, and I don't agree with it. I think this is great the way it is right now, where we have all of these different stories working together in one episode. Jeff Noland, I heard Morgan's son is coming back. Probably false news. If you're getting it from IMDb, it's false news probably. There's rumors, but it's not confirmed. And it's coming from IMDb most likely. And IMDb is not reliable. They just put information and take it away when they realize that it's wrong information. So I wouldn't trust it if it's from IMDb. That's what I'm saying. And from what I've heard, that story or that rumor came from IMDb putting the actor that plays Morgan as one of the people that's going to be appearing in the finale. Giuseppe De Rosa, where is Morgan at after 6 years? Oh, where is Morgan after 6 years? It's 7 years if you think about it, because there was the 1 year time jump after the finale of season 8, and then after season 9 episode 5 there was again another 5 year or 6 year time jump, so it's 7 years. I don't know what happened to him. I mean, he is in fear, so I don't think he's gonna come back anytime soon. And you know, it's just one of those things where I think it was a bad decision to take Morgan into fear. It might have looked cool and looked interesting initially, and they did do a good job at it initially, but it just died down, and I don't think it was worth it. You know, I don't think bringing Morgan to fear is justified, other than it's maybe, or for them to bring up ratings in a way. That's the only thing I think they did it for. But I don't know where he is. I mean, he is still with the others, Alicia, Strand, all the other characters from Fear. I don't think they've gone anywhere else. I think they're just building their community wherever they were. Mamo's Mayo Sandwich, when do you think Negan will escape his cell? I'm thinking somewhere close to the mid-season finale. Maybe episode 8. I'm thinking. Ken the God Gaming, hello Ash. Hi, glad you could join. I missed the question. Yeah, Giuseppe De Rosa. Morgan saw his son die. He's not coming back. That's true. That's true. They didn't show it, but Morgan did say he saw his son die. So that is true to a degree. Giuseppe De Rosa, I hope this is his last season for Fear. If it is, then good in a way, but or one part of me says great, he's coming back to The Walking Dead, but other part of me says, what's left for Fear now, you know? Where is Fear gonna go now? You know what I mean? Jeff Noland, do you think Sherry and Dwight will be a part of the Whispers? I don't think so. I hope they don't do that, because it's just, it doesn't work. Not for me. I don't think that works for story. Giuseppe De Rosa, just make a new Walking Dead show. They are doing like movies and spin-offs and things like that. So they are doing more things, definitely. But for Morgan in Fear, I think for now, even though I don't agree with him being there, the best decision is to just leave him where he is for a little bit. A couple of seasons at least. Giuseppe De Rosa, Angela Kang is doing a great job. She needs to fix up Fear now. Yeah, I mean, she did make The Walking Dead great again, if you think about it. And yeah, I mean, if she does join Fear as a showrunner, I'll be glad. I would have high hopes for the show after that point. She has proven herself to me up to this point that, you know, her what she envisions about the story is what most fans envision and what most fans want to see. You know what I mean? Dr. Soso. That's a great name, by the way. I feel like the Whispers arc will be drawn out over the next season and a half. If it is, do you think there is enough material to adapt from the comic? I don't think... I do think they should draw it out a little bit, but not that much. I think they should mostly do what they should have done for the All Out War story arc. They should have big moments. They should have interesting and exciting episodes, and that doesn't mean that you know it's drawn out, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be exciting. You know what I mean? They should still have exciting story arcs and not story arcs, but exciting events and things happening in every episode, even though it's drawn out. But I don't think you should just bring them in right away and reveal what they are. You should build that momentum. You should build that suspense. And I think it should be so that closer to like episode, I would say, so let's say from now, I think they should tease them for the next 2 episodes and show us that they're witnessing some strange behavior by the walkers. And then when we come back, episode 9, 10, you know, introduce us to the main villains, the leaders. And maybe at that point reveal what they are and what they do a little bit. And then closer to episode like 14 and 15, what you should do is, you know, make it so that there's tension. You know, there's tension between the communities, I mean the Whispers and the other communities, and they're just not seeing eye to eye. You know what I mean? Just build that tension. And then closer to the finale, do the big moment with the lineup and the border scene, I think. And that doesn't mean that you should draw the story and make bottled episodes. Absolutely not. You should add a little bit more, yes, definitely. But at the same time, you should have the stories work together, be connected, just like what they're doing for the next episode. There's like 4 or 5 multiple plot points, but they're intertwined and they're all kind of connected and they all lead up to the Whispers. You know what I mean? So you should do something like that in every episode and give us glimpses and more reveals along the way. And it just builds and builds and builds to the finale where we have that big, oh my God moment. You know what I mean? And I think what they should do is not only draw it out, but also, you know, make it interesting and make every episode exciting, like I said. But at the same time, what they should do is do character development, just like they've been doing in the last couple episodes. Don't take that away completely. And just, you know, have action, action, action. You know what I mean? You should have a blended story and a blended kind of balanced out story or style where you have developed character development, you have interesting stuff happening, you have, you know, things that fans want to see, but at the same time, you have comic stuff coming to life. You have exciting moments, not just from the comics, but in general, exciting and interesting moments in every episode. I hope that answers your question. Giuseppe Rosa, Angela Kang is amazing. Yes, she's been doing a phenomenal job so far. Dr. Soso, the Negan comic arc never had enough story for 2 whole seasons. Yes and no. I mean, depending on how they did it, they could have expanded the story and made it more layered and more interesting and more exciting and made it so that it's 2 seasons, but they didn't do that. They ended up making it, actually it was, 7, 8, you could say 2 seasons. So what they did is just draw out the story, and they just kept, in a way, just stretching the story without any payoff for a long, long time. Giuseppe De Rosa, Daryl is like that character that's always there for the whole series. Yeah, in a way, yeah. And with Rick not being in the show anymore, he's going to be there forever, probably. Giuseppe De Rosa, could Henry take Carl's role in the Whisperer War? Yeah, he could, definitely. Yeah. I couldn't see it before when Henry was a kid, but now I definitely do see it. That could be what they're doing. But they could do some other interesting stuff with Henry as well. I did mention it in my other video about the predictions I did for the lineup thing. I kind of briefly mentioned something about Henry in there. I think that's what they could also do. Instead of giving just the whole comic arc or Carl's comic arc from the Whisperer War to Henry. They could, but they could also give Henry that other story arc that I talked about in the other video. They could give Carl's Whisperer story arc to maybe someone else like Enid if they want, maybe partially. Maybe they could intertwine it. Maybe they could have both Henry and Enid take bits and pieces of the story arc along the way. We are 24 minutes in. We'll go for like 10 more minutes of live stream Q&A, rapid fire questions, and that'll be the end. Let me see. Voltix33, if Negan killed Daryl, do you think Rick would let him live? If Negan had killed Daryl, I'm assuming that's what you mean. If Negan had killed Daryl in the clearing of Season 6, Episode 16, or 701, however you want to look at it, Season 7, Episode 1, would Rick still not want to kill Negan? That's a difficult one. I think if they did the story the exact same way, then with Carl, I mean, even though that was a stupid decision, but if you follow that arc still, I think he might have. I'm not that confident about that answer, but I think he still might have. If the same thing happened along the way with Carl and everything. Dr. Soso, I agree, but they destroyed the Negan All Out War arc, so I'm afraid they might repeat. Yes, I had that concern before Season 9, but now I'm more comfortable and confident with the story and with what they're doing. I trust the showrunner a bit more than I did trust Scott Gimple the last 2 seasons. Mamos Mega Sandwich, do you think The Walking Dead will return in January since the mid-season finale is 2 weeks earlier than usual? I think their break will still be the same. It doesn't matter when it ends, when it starts. The break will still be the same amount of time. I feel. I know they have shot the entire season right now already, but I think they're still going to have that break. They're not going to change it so that they might actually, but I don't know. That's difficult to say. Giuseppe De Rosa, they never revealed why Rick shaved his hair in the show. I don't think they needed to. Dr. Soso, if the episodes aren't interesting, this show might be doomed at this point with Rick gone and Maggie gone and whatnot. Yeah, absolutely. And think about it. They made the first episode back after Rick went away so interesting, so cool, so blended that no one even kind of realized that Rick was gone, in a way. I'm sure they did, but in a way, you were just so focused on the other story arcs that we were seeing, the other cool stuff and interesting stuff we were seeing, that we didn't really think about the void that Rick's disappearance or Rick going away has created on the show. And if they continue that, and it's going to be very difficult, but if they continue that, I don't think they'll have any problem. Giuseppe De Rosa, I think the season 9 finale would be the end of the Whisper War. I don't think so. No, that's way too early. The Whisper War should be season 10. And my preference is only first half of season 10. Unless they have more stuff added in that they want to kind of not stretch out the story, but if they want to add and expand the story. But if not, I would say just half a season for season 10. But it shouldn't be the end of the war at the end of the season. That's way too early. The start, yes, but not the end. Voltix 33, it's annoying that they still didn't renew The Walking Dead for season 10. It's very likely, but I still would like to have confirmation already. Yeah, that is odd if they haven't already. They probably will, most likely, during the off season, for sure. Coldplay, do you see Negan escape this episode? No, in episode 8. That's when I see it. I think they're going to leave that for the mid-season finale. Manuel's Main Sandwich, do you think Rosita will become pregnant this season? Yes. Yes and no. And what do I mean by that? I mean, yes, this season, but no, not gonna reveal it in the next 2 episodes. They're gonna reveal it in the second half, I think. But yeah, it'll be this season. But I think it's way too early for us to think about that because they still need to connect Eugene and Rosita's story a little bit before they do that. Voltix 33, I think the border lineup will be the season finale. I agree with you. And for those of you that watched my predictions for the border lineup, if you haven't already, definitely check it out for comic readers. But if you haven't done that already, even though I did do my prediction right now, and you know I did it because there was a lot of requests for it. But at the same time, because we're not probably getting it until the end of the season, I will do an updated version of that later on when we get closer and closer to the season finale. So, you know, that'll be my update, and my predictions might have changed by that point, depending on, you know, who is still alive and what we know about different characters and, you know, where they are in terms of the story at that point. So even though I did it right now because of the requests I was getting, doesn't mean I'm not going to do it anymore. Or an updated version, I mean. So I definitely will do an updated version close to the season finale. Thought the camera died for a sec, but we're all good now. We're all good right now. So it's good. Let's go back to the questions. Mammals Mayo Sandwich, do you think Magna will visit Negan? I don't think there is a reason for it. I don't think it adds anything because they never knew each other. You know, I don't see there being a purpose for that. But I think that happens in the comics if I'm not wrong. So they could do it, but I don't think it's going to be a big thing. It's just, you know, it's just Negan and Magna. Negan and Magna just talking. You know what I mean? It's not going to add anything to the story, even though it happened in the comics, I feel. Or I think, if I remember correctly. Voltex33, what happened? Or what would happen if they made it like Lucille seen? So in 916, we won't know whose heads on the pikes would have caused the riot. I would be pissed off, and I might stop watching, to be honest. If they do that again, I would stop watching. Probably. I think they learned their lesson. They're not going to do anything like that again. Even though it did create a lot of buzz, ratings went up the roof, or yeah, they went crazy for the first episode back. But then after that, because of that decision, ratings went down. And also because of the structure of the season and, you know, everything that they did in season 7. But at the same time, I think the decision they made in the finale of season 6 definitely had an impact or had an effect on people. And I think that was one of the main reasons why they didn't just come back and watch the rest after the first episode back. So I hope they don't do that, because if they do, then that'll be disappointing. And I think not only did they learn from their mistake and from that bad decision, but I think Angela Kang and her style is a bit different than what's it called? Scott Gimple's style. Even though she does cliffhangers too. Like, think about it. She did a cliffhanger when Justin died or disappeared, whatever. You know, it was a POV shot. It was similar, but it was reversed. You know what I mean? In the finale of season 6, episode 16, we saw Negan, and it was the POV of the victim. This way, it's the POV of the person that's actually doing the killing, and they're looking at the victim. So it's backwards. So it's a similar thing, but it's backwards. But at the same time, first, it wasn't a finale, so we don't have to wait like 6-7 months to see what happens next. It's just one week. So that's good. That was a positive thing. But at the same time, it wasn't a character that we really kind of cared about anyway, to see who killed him. And we knew who died, so that wasn't a problem. So it was just about the mystery of who killed him, which I think they did well, even though it was still a similar type of cliffhanger, but reversed. Mammals Mayo Sandwich, do you think Jesus will take Lydia to the hilltop? Yes, I think they'll follow that from the comics. Alright, we are 35 minutes in, so let's do 2 more minutes. I think I said 10 minutes like 15 minutes ago, but we'll go for 2 more minutes, and that'll be the end of the stream here. So 2 more minutes of rapid fire Q&A. And for those of you that don't know, I made this announcement in, I think, the last video that I did. So what I'm doing for Friday night live streams, so not the Sunday afternoon live streams, but the Friday night live streams, which is not this one, basically. So for the Friday night live streams, which are going to be at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, what I'm doing is actually introducing a suggested video segment where I basically wait till the end of the stream, and then I take a look at whoever asked questions. You have to have at least one question, and you have to be a subscriber. So if you are a subscriber and if you ask at least one question, what I do is put your name in a hat, sort of thing, draw a name. If your name comes up, then you are a winner in a way, and you can suggest a video for next week, for the week after, I mean. And it could be any video, and I dedicate just like a video to you, your topic. And there's some rules though. 5 minute only, so it can only be 5 minutes. It can't be me reacting to a video. That's not gonna be happening. That's the second rule. The third rule is that it can't be from your own channel, because then everyone's gonna want me to take a look at their channel that way, and I just can't control it. I can't just watch everyone's content, you know what I mean? So these are the three main rules. So it's basically just topics, you know, talk about this or talk about this, but it can't be watch this, review this, react to this, you know what I mean? And yeah, so those are the rules. But if you are a winner and your name is drawn, then you have basically 24 hours from when I send you the message, private message, or a comment telling you know, or letting you know that you win. So you have 24 hours to let me know what your suggestion is. If you can't give me that in 24 hours, I basically move to the next person. I draw another name. So that's going to be for Friday night live streams. And, you know, we had one the last one we had was last Friday, I mean. And the person that won was Ken the God Gaming. So he won. He actually suggested a video. It's a great one. So, well, I'll be doing that next week. But yeah, you know, you could join, you could ask questions next Friday night, and you could be possibly the next winner. You have to be a subscriber too, though. But let's just answer a couple more questions. Mammals Mayo Sandwich, what is your predictions of Season 9, Episode 8? I'll do my predictions. I do a prediction for every episode before it airs. So I'll be doing my predictions for Season 8 for sure. I don't want to do a prediction here, because then I would have to take a look at the sneak peeks that we're getting, take a look at the summary, take a look at the story where we left off in the last episode. So there's a lot of things involved. I can't predict the next 2 episodes right now. So, yeah. So stay tuned for that, though. I will definitely do it closer to the end of the week. Actually, I think it is closer to the end. I think it's Wednesdays. I have my upload schedule. You can check it out. The link to my Twitter is in the description, and my Facebook. I have the schedule on there, so you can check it out. But stay tuned for my predictions for episode 8 in those, or in the day where I have my prediction upload. Voltex33, what would happen if Simon killed Negan in 8:15? Would the war end the same way? Would he end in prison? No. I think if Simon killed Negan, then Rick would have just killed Simon, I think. Because Negan kind of was talking to Rick a little bit, and it was a conversation and a fight at the same time. For Simon, it wouldn't have been a conversation. Simon would have been to kill Negan. It would have been there to kill Rick. You know, he wouldn't have any problems with killing everyone there. You know what I mean? And making Rick suffer and fall in line. If he doesn't, he would have had no problem killing Rick. So I think there was definitely a big difference between Simon and Negan. So if Negan was killed by Simon, Simon was the leader during the finale, then of Season 8, I mean, then I don't think it would have ended the same way. The war would not have ended the same way. Mammals Mayo Sandwich, can you react to Negan and Lucille Paralyzed song? Negan and Lucille Paralyzed song. I don't know what that is. Alright, so that's basically the end of the stream. Thank you everyone for coming on and asking questions and participating. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for my reaction to tonight's episode after it airs. Probably an hour or an hour and a half after, I'll post my reaction. But yeah, I'm very excited for the next episode. I think most fans are, based on where we are in the story right now. But that's basically it for this live stream Q&A. See you for the next live stream.